ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of the winners match of Group A in the NSL Season 2, day number 2. So we are starting on Tyloo.Jim down at the bottom left side of the map, representing Spider, YE Spider Gaming. We have Comm the Zerg. His opponent up 1-0 at the moment at the top left side of Tyloo.Jim. It is going to be Tyloo.Jim, another PvZ in store for us. On Tyloo.Jim again, one of these maps that should be just dead, crushed and killed into the ground like Shakura's, but again, a lot of these tournaments, for whatever reason, still like to use these. So we are going to see a game on this. Typically right now we're going to most likely see from the Protoss either a Forge Fast Expand or a Forgate. On the other end from the Zerg player. We're going to watch and maybe you see a quick Ling, maybe a 10 pull, maybe something of that nature. Again, I mean, okay, it's a little bit late for a 10 pull, most likely 14 pull, 15 hatch, something of that nature. Maybe try to do some kind of 2-base, speedling, baneling timing, I don't know. When you play on this map, you got to be a little bit creative. Because of the wide ramps, you know, there's a lot of different things that could really happen. So good, also good work by Jim, kind of microing and preventing, doing that little Huck probe micro where you're just preventing a lot of the mining happening at the bottom left side, and he's still doing that. He's preventing a lot of the mining, as you see. I mean, every little second, every half second, every little bit counts. So every time a drone has to move over to a different patch, it sends another drone off a different patch, and I mean, it starts landsliding from there. So here we go, Forge Fast Expand coming up from Jim. Meanwhile, Comm taking his third location, and this is the big difference, guys. This may be one of the reasons why this game is still alive. I mean, why this, sorry, SC2 is alive. I didn't mean to say that. Main reason why Tyloo.Jim maybe is still utilized and it's still alive. Because there used to be rocks at the third location, so that's kind of a big problem for the longest time ever with Tyloo.Jim. Was there was the DBZ Dust and Browder rocks over at the third base, and that made it really hard for Zergs to establish a 3-base economy, and especially with kind of like that metagame that got established with the quick 3-hatch play from Zergs, it irritated them a lot, and a lot of Zergs I know vetoed this map and really didn't enjoy playing it for the longest time ever. So yeah. But now with 3 hatches underway, so this is going to be looking to be a standard game from Comm. Meanwhile, the Forge Fast Expand is just about done. First cannon already finishing up, so he's going to be very safe as he's going to come back home. No Link should be able to really get through. At most, maybe one if he decides to overcommit to it. Huck, yeah, Huck is in the GSL now. I don't think he's going to do so well. This past year, just overall, he hasn't actually been performing well at all. No offense to Huck. Again, I mean, this is me just being, again, this is not me being a player-to-player thing, because he completely outclasses me leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. I'm not even anywhere near his level, but from a caster and just kind of if you're asking on a player ranking scale, he hasn't been performing well, and I think in the GSL there's a big potential for him to get outclassed. A lot of his wins, if any of them do come, are going to be from 1-base builds. That's really his strength and his fodder, so a lot of blink builds, something of that nature, that we might see from him. But I see a pretty quick exit in his future. I mean, it might be just a straight thing, 1-4, 1-5 in his group to Code round of 48 to out. So now Grubby, on the other hand, maybe a little bit better. Who's the other foreigner? Stefano's coming over. Stefano, I don't know how well he'll do in Code S. He might actually get dropped right away, but maybe make it down to round of 32 Code A. It all depends. Again, like it's I don't know. It's me being very judgmental, but kind of being more on the end of realistic. Like when people see these foreigners come over and can participate in the GSL, even myself, we're very hopeful. Like I really hope, you know, Grubby could go really far, but realistically, the Koreans just play on such another level, skill-wise, mentally, mechanically. I mean, it's kind of like their home playing field as well. So it's, you know, it's asking a lot out of foreigners when they come over there to perform really well. Again, who are the only really foreigners that have performed that well? Jinro and Naniwa. And I mean, take a percentage. I mean, how many GSL seasons have there been? How many Code A's? How many Code S's? How many up and downs? I mean, how many foreigners played and how many got knocked out right away? I mean, you guys got do the math. I mean, probability. If you're a gambling man, Vegas odds, not too good on foreigners, man. Not too good. I would take my bet with the Koreans, man. Stick with the Koreans. Stick with the guns, man. Stick with the guns. Now, Kespa Pro League, that's a whole different animal. That is an especially different animal. With Pro League and Stefano coming over, that's going to be, I think, a big help because Stefano, he's not a type of player that looks like he really prepares for set matches, but he's one of those guys that just comes out there and like you ask him, hey, I need you to go play right now against this guy. He's like, oh, okay, I'll go play. Like he'll go play, man. Like he shows up and just his strength is playing against random people, especially if people can't prepare for him too. So like that's really his big strength, just kind of that versatility. Now as we see as this game's going on, back to the actual game itself, Jim doing a little bit of trying to do a little bit of a harassment drop again with the War Prism and the Sentries. Now getting in the Zealots, and that's actually going to hurt quite a bit. Dropping another force field that's going to prevent a lot of these units from getting any type of surface area. No spine crawlers out yet. 6 roaches underway. Of course, lings and drones are not exactly going to be the answer here to hold this off. He is trying to micro as best as possible, but again, he's going to be losing a little bit of his units. And I mean, all Jim really has to do is just with the War Prism, just morph back, put him back in, and head out of there. And look at him, he's actually warping in another set right now. Takes out the queen, so that's going to hurt the production cycles and injects. But you guys got to also consider right now how many drones have been lost. It looks like 16 drones are already underway, so Comm doing a wonderful job anticipating his own hold off here and furthering his economy, because on the backside right now what Jim is doing, he's not transitioning into a third base. He's getting Immortals out, he's getting 3 additional gates, he's getting everything prepared to follow up with the Sentry Immortal all in. Look at that, he's got 3 Immortals already set in place and plus an additional 3 gates that just finished up. A War Prism is already on the map, and again, with all these wide ramps and chokes, well, I mean, it's kind of a wide ramp, but with all these choky areas, it's going to be very hard for Comm to hold this off. Comm right now needs to invest in units right away, or he will lose this game. There are no spine crawlers in place. Speed has not been started for the roaches. He is literally relying on lings to be able to hold this this push off, and that is not a good bet. That is a terrible bet, and he needs to make sure he needs to get his defenses up. Просто огромная сейчас проблема, огромная проблема для Ком. Хорошая агрессия Джим, он мог королеву убивать, он такого хорошего не дал вот этих юнита, ну, не дал работников для зерга игрока минералы капить, и просто в это время он просто готовил имморталов и все вот этих юнитов, и просто проблемы, потому что защиты не хватает для Ком. Джим делает очень хороший тайминг в 3 центрах, у него Warprism есть для Warpin, у него есть очень много центров, значит форсфилдов он может кидать, и просто потому что нет никаких спайнов, нет никакого защиты, прямо он просто на лингов и на собак это надеялся, что они могут это ему выиграть и защищать вот эту игру. Ну, проблема в чем сейчас уже натурал локация потеряла, сейчас он может просто пуш пройти в мейн форсфилдов, вот эту маленькую часть, и все, вот это будет конца игры, прямо весь пуш попробую удерживать сейчас, но это для него, конечно, неудачно получится. И вот про чего я говорил, форсфилды кинул, и вот эти рочи Валт не могли попасть внутри, и он проиграет вот эту игру. 2-0 для Джим. В первом месте выходит от этого группу, легкие игры, 4-0 сегодня победил. Wow. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Quick 2-0 for Jim. Beautiful play right there with the War Prism. Dropped it down. Did a little bit of harass. Not only killed the queen. You got to understand the concept behind that drop. That was actually very smart. Did the